Any apologies for absence?
Yes, Chairman. Councillors Paul Clements, Richard Morris and Matthew Brooke.
Okay, welcome to our new councillor Dale.
Thank you.
Declarations of interest.
One of the applications is for staff extension for the dentist, spa dentistry. That is my dental practice that I visit, so I don't know if that's any kind of conflict of interest.
Okay, well, I'll have to do a declaration of interest because it's my dentist as well.
That's fine. That's non-pecuniary for those people. Can I just add a general one as well, Chairman, please? In the decision notices, which is item 5, one of the acceptances is the community legacy planning application for the Heritage Centre. So it was just to note that and just to reaffirm that the Town Council and the Town Council Planning Committee did not play any part or send any response in that decision. So it's a good decision, but it's just for the minutes that it was handled that way.
And item 3, we'd like to confirm as a correct record the minutes of the meeting of the committee held on 9th of September 24 at the council chamber.
I'll move that, yes.
Okay.
Happy to second.
Okay, all in favour? Okay. 4A, we'll go on to the planning applications where you should have the schedule attached. Right, the first one is St Andrew's House Hotel. They want to paint the exterior of render. We have, I do believe, one neighbour's comment about the colour of paint, but the colour of paint is clearly on the documents. I don't know if you all saw what I sent round. Yeah, eggshell white. Okay. Any further on that, Mark?
So, as you said, Chairman, one response just on the colour from a neighbour. Everything else accorded that there was no adverse comments, and the heritage statement confirms that it's just for the render colour on the fascia of the building.
As far as I'm concerned, the looking at the building, the mismatch of paint colours, I think it will be a definite good thing. Councillor Duffy.
Thank you. I was just going to say, I'm sure that the paint colour would also be quite regulated by the listed building status. So any issue, I'm sure, will be picked up by the achieving officers. So I'll be happy to propose this for approval.
Okay.
And I'm more than happy to second, yes.
And all in favour? Thank you. So the second on the list is 8 Welling Close. This is for a garage conversion to annex. Mark?
Yes, on this one, Chairman, there's 4 neighbours' responses. One is no objection, that's from the adjacent road, Walkdale Crescent. One is an objection over parking and the capacity of the driveway, really, off-road parking. And then there's 2 statements of support included in those 4 from neighbours. One's the immediate neighbour and one's the immediate opposite neighbour. The only statutory response is highways, which is comment only that it meets criteria, but that does cover the concerns raised by the objector.
Okay. Any further comments on this one? No. Have we a proposer for this one?
It's our proposer.
Okay. Second.
Happy to second.
All in favour? Third one on the list is 2 Tidwell Gardens. This is for a 2-storey rear extension, part replacement, ground floor extension, side balcony, replacement of existing flat roof carport with pitch roof garage.
So very little on the portal, Chairman, on this one. No neighbours' responses. There's one statutory, which is WRS, and that's the standard one on landfill gas proximity, just to make those measures.
Okay. Any further comments on this one? Do we have a proposer for this one?
I'll propose it, yes.
Okay, seconder. Thank you, Val. All in favour?
Thank you.
Okay. Following one is 47 Blackfriars Avenue, which is the dentist. This is a proposed single-storey rear extension to provide staff facilities for the practice.
So again, Chairman, no neighbours replies on this. There's a couple of statutories of note. The drainage, in principle, everything's fine from drainage at Woodhaven. There's just one conditional aspect, and it does reoccur on a couple of the other applications coming up. It's South Worcestershire Development Plan Policy 29, which is a water management statement. So even though there's arrangements put forward in the proposal for surface water drainage, they ask for a full water management statement. So that covers things like flooding as a contingency. So that's fairly standard, but it needs to be noted. And then the highways response is no objection, meets criteria. And then again, through the county, the public footpaths department, they put a condition in that there's an adjacent right of way, and that should be marked and not obstructed during the actual work. So as you would expect, really, so that will just be noted.
Okay. Are there any further comments on this? Alex?
I don't think we should deprive the staff of the dentist's facilities. So I very much, with the provisos that have been mentioned by Mark, I support it and would move that we accept.
Okay, got a second?
I would be having a think, but if I could realise I should also declare my dentist.
Yeah.
But also that my daughter lives around the corner from there too, so she lives in the vicinity. But again, I don't think that precludes me from seconding and voting.
Are we all in favour? Yes. Yep. Okay. Next on the agenda is 18 Ombersley Street West. This is a planning application for retention of change of use of care home C2 to C1 bed and breakfast retrospective.
So just a couple of things to mention on this one, Chairman. There's no neighbours' responses, although I think Councillor Davidson has put a response in as well. Highways have put a deferment decision in, requesting more information. It's to do with off-street parking provision in that area. So really that means that the Town Council response would have to accord with the highways.
Yeah. Okay. Councillor Humphries?
Thank you. This is the area, not the area I represent, but the area that I live in, and that I will be walking that way home. There's already quite a lot of issues with parking in that area, particularly also that they have the drop-off and collection lockers outside of the shop. And there is no, that particular property, there is no parking, off-street parking for there. So it's I think I would support that decision to defer it for more information around parking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was a proposer for this. Councillor Humphries, and a seconder. All in favour of deferring it?
Thank you.
The next on the list is 15 Petersfield Drive. This is a first floor extension of existing garage and utility room.
So this one, Chairman, very little. No neighbours responses, 2 statutories, which are WRS, no adverse comments, and then drainage from Woodhaven, which is the same as the Blackfriars one. It's this SWDP policy 29. So that will just be noted in any reply.
Any further comments from anybody on this one? Councillor Duffy?
Not increasing the foot size of the building, it seems like a wise extension. I'll propose that for approval.
Thank you. Got a seconder?
I'll second that, yes.
All in favour?
Thank you.
Okay. Next one is 8 Langley Road. This is removal of existing conservatory and construction of rear extension.
So for this one, Chairman, no neighbours replies whatsoever. 2 statutories, WRS on landfill gas, which is the standard one, and then drainage again, just mentioning this SWDP 29.
Okay, any additional comments on that one? No? we a proposer for
Move
this?
approval, yes.
Seconder, councillor Duffy, all in favour?
Thank you.
Good. And the final one on the planning applications list this month is Corbett Nursing Home, erection of a single-storey building to provide laundry and storerooms to existing nursing home.
So very little on this, Chairman. No neighbours replies and WRS responses, no adverse comments. They're happy. I would say as well, it's been validated on the 3rd of October, so it's been out there 2 or 3 weeks. So there doesn't seem to be any issues with it.
Okay, any further comments on this one? Councillor Duffy?
Seems like a good way for the nursing home to continue supporting their residents. I'd move for approval on that one.
Seconder? Councillor Humphries, all in favour?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So amended.
Okay. So, item 4B, there's none received for amended planning applications this time. Item 5, we've already mentioned about that regarding the Heritage Centre.
So that one, Chairman, the Heritage Centre is one of the 9 approval in Part A.
Yeah.
But 8 match the Town Council's opinion.
Okay. Item 6, I think Mark's got an update on this one.
Well, I defer.
Or Bob.
Sorry, 5B.
Oh, sorry, 5B recusal notices. Woodhaven District Council have issued one recusal notice since the last Town Council Planning Committee, which took place on 9th of September. This decision did according to the Town Council Planning Committee recommendations.
I can tell you which one that was, Chairman, as well. That was the demolition of garage kitchen extension, West Park Drive. We'd send it out to the committee
Okay.
because that was debated at the last meeting.
Right. Okay. So item 6, VAS Safer Road Scheme.
So it's as presented on the agenda there, really, just to say that both the vandalised solar vases were reinstated last month. The Abbey Sway one is repaired. We managed to do that in-house. Unfortunately, the Salwalk Road one did work, but it's not recharging. So we've had to take the last resort, which is to send it back to the manufacturers under warranty. So it will be missing for a while. Katie's arranged for it to be taken in and then couriered today. So if constituents do raise it, people do report this one as either missing or not working because it's on that very busy stretch. It's disappointing because that road really benefits from it.
Yeah.
But hopefully it will be repairable under warranty and then reinstated for a 3rd time.
Thank you. In fact, I just wanted to compliment our town clerk and colleagues for getting the Addisway valves repaired locally, which obviously would have saved us a lot of money. So I just want to express thanks for that.
Okay. Item 7 just mentions about M5 junctions 4 to 4A improvement works.
Yeah, can I just make a comment on this one, actually? It's interesting. This one actually affected me because I'm on the committee, I got this, and we were actually going to Birmingham that night, and I actually saw this. Oh, we're going to get delayed on the way home. Where is it actually, I could ask the county council, where is it actually advertised? Because we were going to Birmingham, so we obviously got on the motorway here, because it doesn't tell you you're going to be delayed coming back at that point. And in fact, we were delayed quite a long way, quite a long time. But where are these things actually advertised apart from they come to us?
I actually had a letter posted through.
Oh,
Did you?
no.
No, we had a letter at Charles Henry posted through the door regarding this.
Oh, interesting. So, it was actually before 10 o'clock when we got there, and it was closed then. It was interesting that because we knew, and this, well, we were held about half an hour altogether with coming around through Bronsgrove. Just thought that these things need to be publicised more. It struck me.
Yeah.
It's not county.
No,
It's not county, was it not county? No, it's highway.
no, I was going to say,
Yeah, it's not.
it's Highways England. And
Sorry, I'm blaming you.
No,
wrongly.
no,
Apologies.
I didn't take it that way. Just to be clear, it's Highways England, and with no authority or
No, that's okay.
whatever, unfortunately, with them.
Yeah.
They're a law to themselves.
But Yeah,
But actually,
would have
it's been
thought
very effective, so to
Yeah.
be fair, it was very good, yeah.
there would have been more mail shot around our area.
It's like
Yeah.
social media and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so items 8 through to items 20 are all road traffic regulation acts. Has anybody got any comments on any of those? They're all for information only.
I think just to add on that, Chairman, there's a lot to do with the Toucan crossings
Yeah.
on the Westlands because there's a schedule of different parts of the work, curb realignment, surfacing, the actual crossings. Each stage has its own order
Yeah.
or second order, so that's why there seems to be a lot over the next few months.
Everybody okay with those? Right. And that concludes the meeting. Thank you.
Good evening, Council, and welcome to this meeting of the Resources Committee. Item 1, apologies for absence, please.
Yes, Chairman, Councillors Paul Clements, Richard Morris and Matthew Brook.
Thank you very much. Item 2, do we have any declaration of interest?
Sorry, I will have to leave at 7. Just to let you know.
Okay. Yeah, we should be, hopefully it's fairly short. It's the end of it. Okay, declarations of interest, anyone please? I'll take that as no. Item 3, to confirm as a correct record of the minutes, proposal please. Thank you. And seconder, thank you. And all those in favour?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, then. Item 4, very pleasant duty here to welcome Dale again. No, it's good to see you, and I hope that you will enjoy your term of office. Thank you for that. Item 5 then is just an update on the renewable energy situation.
Yes, Chairman, thank you. So really, just taking from the agenda, the delegation met on the 9th of September, just before the last round of committees. The key outcome from that at this stage was to do pre-application planning advice through the LPA, the Local Planning Authority. That was submitted, there's a copy of that gone out on the 23rd and 25th September. The timescale is 3 to 4 weeks. I've not had a response, but I've had an acknowledgement, but it's due any time. So as soon as we get that back, we'll either bring it back to a delegation or resources, whichever's the sooner. The good news, as it says in there, is at the moment there's no fee. We're anticipating a fee. Generally, you do have to pay for pre-application advice, but there's an exemption, I think, for councils, which will be helpful.
I think that's all good news. We're going ahead in. Do you have any comments or no? Fine. Move on to item 6 then, the bus shelter maintenance.
Again, positive on this one, Chairman. The Bower Hill and Selverstone Way bus shelters, these are brand new replacements with anti-graft coating. They went in over the last 2 weeks, as reported early September. The Everton Close one, strangely, was hit by another RTA. That's 2 RTAs and a single shelter, but that's been repaired in-house. There will be some costs, but it's a lot more economic than a brand new shelter. And we've taken the option to anti-graft that and replace the roof, which needed doing anyway. So that was fortunate. And the outstanding ones are Westwood Road near Parkway. That one, at the moment, people are kicking out the lower panels, which is disappointing, but we are able to fabricate replacements locally. So we're on with that, and we're trying to anti-graft those as they go in. And also Folsom Pits, which is one opposite the BP garage. That one's going to have some new panels. So that should be it for the time being on the what I'd say are the most vulnerable shelters for the vandalism and damage.
Well, thank you for that. Anyone, any comments?
Do we know if there's been any road review from highways officers at the location where we've had the road traffic collisions?
I'm not aware of any, I don't know.
I haven't
No,
seen any.
The Everton close one's strange because it's on a straight stretch of Worcester Road. So the first RTA was an Arctic lorry reversed into it, and it was a nighttime car collision that demolished it 2 or 3 weeks ago. Totally unaffected, but strangely it would happen on a straight piece of road. The other one, which was New Chilson Lane, which was last autumn, this time 12 months ago, that was a drunk uninsured driver. We didn't have any recourse to insurance because of that. So we've had to take a loss on that. But I think the circumstances of that meant that it wasn't a road engineering issue. It was just the nature of the person that did it. It was in the early hours of Saturday morning. So there's no pattern with dangerous or inappropriately sited bush shelters, I don't think.
Thank you.
That makes sense, thank you.
In fact, any other comments? Otherwise, I'd just like to echo what I said earlier. Again, it's very good the way you see that we're doing things in-house with a local suppliers, a fabricator, down to panel, that sort of work, which obviously must reduce costs and also makes us more efficient. And again, I'll just give thanks to everyone involved in making that happen. Okay then, item 7, regular payments review, and again, that's just a list for information. No one has any comments, we'll move on again.
Sorry, Chairman.
Oh, sorry, was there?
Just on regular payments for members who don't know, all cheque payments are authorised through the committee or full council, but every 6 months approximately, we are required to do a list of all the regular payments of outstanding orders, direct debits. So that's what those sheets are for. So it's generally utilities, salaries, those sort of arrangements.
Thank you. Again, that's a requirement of us as a local authority, that we are clear and transparent on where cash is going. So thank you for that. Okay, interim review of budgets. And again, I think that's on to you, please, Mark.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. So that one, there is a spreadsheet that's gone out, 4.5 sheets to members with the pack. Looking at the final sheet, the important thing is that we review the budgets at the half-year stage. So this is the half-year stage of the municipal year. So from the 1st of April, we generally do this up to the 30th of September. But what the auditor checks every year is that our budgets are still set as to what was set in the precepts back in January. So in this case, the budget set for expenditure was 497,591.47. This is for the year up to the 31st of March. And then on income, our income expectation budget set was 513,197.80. So where we stand at the moment, or as at 30 September, year to date, is our payments out position cumulative is 309.62. So that's about in line to 497 by the end of March. What we're really pleased with is the income side, because our actual income received up to 30 September is 501,000 against a target of 513 for the whole year. So at the 6 month stage, we're very positive. Within that 501, there is 400,000 in preset payments from Woodhaven, but there's over 100,000 in supplementary income. So that's the community hall allotments, turnover from the Heritage Centre. And we stretched those targets last year based on some of the projects that we've got underway, mainly the Heritage Centre one that we'll come on to later on the agenda. Also, it isn't an inflated figure because grant payments can inflate figures, but we haven't received grant payments up front. Community legacy, which is 130,000, is paid at the end or during the actual work. So in this case, that work hasn't started, so there'll be 130,000 to come in and go out. We've actually spent significantly, things like surveyors fees, almost 20,000 already out of that project. So our net position should improve even further as we get towards 31st of March. That is a surprise, but I think what's really helped is the community hall. On the income side, on the breakdown for the community hall, I'll give an indication of that. Yeah, community hall bookings is 15,000, just over 15,000 to the end of September against a target of 24 up to the end of next March. So we take a bit of a slide in December because it's a shorter month with Christmas and holiday bookings and things, but that is significant really for us. We have got a couple of, on the expenditure side, we've got a couple of larger ones to come. We've got approximately 15,000 to pay for a couple of new bus shelters I've just mentioned. We've got 40,000 for the Copcut pathways, which had started. That's 2 or 3 weeks that work will take. And then there will be some capital expenditure which will take the costings for the museum. But we've got 200,000 earmarked for that or up to that figure. So generally, we are very solvent at the moment. The other money that we haven't had in yet is the 18,000 from Natural Networks, and we paid out for that to the contractor because that's paid at the end of the project by December. So we were surprisingly pleased that things are looking healthy. And what that also helps with is strategic project number 2 for the town council on the list that went out in January is the conversion of the upstairs and improvements to this part of the building, the stairwell and things from the entrance here. That gives us more capital to play with, irrespective of priority 1, which is the heritage project, which should be fulfilled in the first half of next year.
Thank you very much. Anybody got any questions or comments?
I'd just like to apologise for a slight mistake on my part, looking at watches and clocks. Apologise for being late.
Better late than never, you're welcome, of course. Any other sort of comment on that? I'll just explain, perhaps, if you may already know this, but for Councillor James, that this gentleman is also our responsible finance officer.
Right.
And it's very nice to get such a pleasant report that everything is very much on course, or in fact, above expectations. So that's, again, reflects on the work of the team, which is really good. So, okay, then I'll move on.
To second that, Mr. Chairman.
Sorry.
I'm sure there are several councils not a million miles away who would be delighted with that situation if they had it.
Yes.
So it's great. So
Yes.
well done to everybody concerned, Jane.
Yes. And government for that, anyway. So, I'm sorry, yes, thank you, Val.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. I know this isn't my committee. I just wanted to know, I wanted to ask the town clerk whether you've noticed an uptake in bookings of the community hall since we introduced the online system, because it's certainly much easier to book it now.
Yeah, we have, definitely. So a combination of online booking and also the advertising. So these banners that we've done, there's one here, there's one on Heritage Way, that's definitely sitting up to.
Thank you for that. Again, I think that just reminds us of all the background jobs that you have to get done, and like upgrading the phones and all these sort of things. So thank you for raising that, Councillor Humphries. That's appreciated. Any more comments on that one? No? Okay then. I'll move on to item 9, the community infrastructure levy. And again, this is just for noting, and again, by way of explanation, we get a certain amount of money when certain developments are done within the town. The developers have to pay what's called the community infrastructure levy. But again, this is something again that we have to keep an eye on, because there's a certain part, you can only spend it on certain things and within a certain time frame. So again, just for noting, but again, we're on the ball on that one. So
If I can just add on that one, Chairman, as well. So there's a separate report, because within the reserve, it's restricted reserve, that there is an element, it breaks it down to 4 components of £20,575.80, which is what we call the accumulated SIL or community infrastructure levy. So there is a caveat with that the town council needs to allocate it or spend it within 5 years of receipt. One small amount of that is due in October this year, because it was paid originally in 2019. I say only, it's £1,939, but as I put them, my recommendation is that the town council allocates some of that 20,575.80 towards paying for the bus shelters. We haven't had the bill for that, but we anticipate being around 15,000, because we do need to demonstrate that we've used some of that, particularly that 1,939. Otherwise, that would have to be returned to Wychavon. I don't need to annotate a decision of that, but we need to publicise on the website at the end of each financial period. So this will be a precept setting, budget setting in January, what we've allocated from that, and I did need to do a return to Wychavon to say that it's been spent. So my suggestion would be an element, if not the full proportion for the bus shelters, because we are starting to get more SIL money in now. We had 10,434 in April, another 586 a few weeks ago. So it's starting to accumulate. There was a period when we were hardly getting any, but it's paid on occupancy of new developments, so it's starting to filter through. But we need to use it, and it's got to be allocated for projects that benefit the community. So basically what it says, infrastructure. So bus shelters, amenities, those sort of things do fit.
Yeah. Thank you, that's good. I was just going to ask you, do we need to formally do that, or simply note that will be
You
done?
can note it, because I'll bring it back in December or January with the precept and budget setting, but at that time, when I do the report that goes on the website, we'll need to say we've allocated 1,939 or that as a component of X amount towards it, and then our holding will change.
Okay, well, I mean, to me, that seems a perfectly sensible thing to do, and certainly we don't want to lose any hard-won funding. So, okay, so we don't need to take any further, so but that's fine then. I'll move on to item 10 then, which is the annual review of the bank mandate signature range. And again, that's simply for noting unless anyone has any comments.
Just an annual update, yeah.
Item 11, Kidderminster Road land, and again, I've prepared a short update on this, which is very much a work in progress. Again, this is a piece of land which is really unusable at the moment for much, but we're actually looking at ways to bring that to a sensible condition that we can actually do something with it. We can come back and review that once we've got the actual land levelled and straightened out and so forth. So that's really just to give an update, and again, unless anyone has any questions, we'll just note that for information at this stage. Thank you. Item 12, accounts for payments as per the list.
There's a list circulated with the agenda, Chairman, and there's also just a few supplementaries. I'll just run those through. It's
Thank you.
Total Computers, which is the WaveNet domain migrating, that's £204. Wychavon, that's the small lottery registration fee for those charities, £20. Couple for coach sales, this is reciprocal charge back through the Heritage Centre, one for 561, one for 45. Repairs to footbridge at Cockwood Park, £220 to the carpenter, and then purchase for the TIC, £56.16, and then Weldon Heating and Plumbing, that's work carried out on the central heating system for the community hall, 480, so that's an additional £1,586.31.
Thank you for that. Does anyone have any questions on this? Okay, perhaps I should just explain again, the Tourist Information Centre does things like take coach bookings and things like that. So of course we get all the money in, and then we pass on, we keep our cut and pass on the balance, the commission side, and then pass it on. So again, just to clarify that point. Anyway, if we're happy with that, could I have a proposal, please? Thank you, and the seconder. Thank you. Everyone in favour? Thank you, that's done. Okay, item 13 then, and that's to consider the exclusion of the public and press by passing the motion as printed on the agenda item. Could I have a proposer for that, please?
Proposer, so we move that.
And a seconder, please? And are we all in favour of that? Thank you. Great, thank you very much. Item 14, and this is again a rather, oh, sorry.